David Hooper here, Podcast Movement 2018, the play-by-play. This was day 3. It is now 3:24 a.m. back at my cheap hotel desk where I have just ingested some popcorn. On top of that popcorn, peanut butter. And on top of the peanut butter, chocolate. It was a gift. About 1,000 grams of saturated fat, way more than the tasty cake that I was eating last night. I didn't want to be rude. That wouldn't be nice. Kind of like when I was on the trade show floor today. Somebody said, hey, you want a t-shirt? And, I didn't really need another t-shirt, but I took it, and I'm going to wear it because I got class. Got about 100 marketing examples that I'm going to share with you probably in the next week or so. I need to kind of scan them or write up a little something about them. These are podcast marketing examples. I think you're going to like that. I'm going to probably put it up on the Big Podcast Facebook page. I think it's facebook.com/growyourpodcast. If you're interested, just follow me on Twitter. Go to bigpodcast.com. Get on the mailing list. I will let you know about it. But yeah, that's what I was doing this day today. I was on the trade show. I was having conversation. To me, that is the best part of this event. I don't think I have spent more than 10 minutes in any of the presentations. Yesterday, I went to something for Google. That was it. 10 minutes, got the information I needed, done. Didn't do anything today. Tomorrow, I will be going to see Terry Gross, the legendary Terry Gross, because it's Terry Gross. But beyond that, no, man, I'm just having conversations. And the reason I'm having conversations is because conversations lead to connection. When you're building rapport with people, even the people that I already knew from Nashville, they're up here, I know them better because of the conversations that we're having together. Let me give you an example. One of my friends from Nashville, he's up here, mentioned yesterday that he had done some work for Mikhail Baryshnikov, famous male ballet dancer. He's been on tour with him, and he was the production manager, sound guy, engineer, doing a lot of the behind the scenes. Ran into a friend of mine today, lives in Philadelphia, had dinner with her. She is in that business, is looking to get up to New York, where Anthony was from. I said, hey, man, I got a guy. Worked with Mikhail Baryshnikov. I think that he might be able to get you connected. They got connected. That is the value of conversation. Stuff that you don't think is going to go somewhere sometimes, and then it does, having that kind of knowledge. Had another experience today. Great conversation with a well-known podcaster who will remain nameless, and I'm connecting him with a friend of mine that worked for Tony Robbins and did the advanced work on all of his stuff. Everything works out. So, you knew this, right? And I'm sorry for the kind of lame podcast I was going to broadcast every day. It's it's after 3, and this is the 4th night, I think, that I've been doing this, kind of burning the candle at both ends. Tomorrow, Terry Gross, no trade show, more of these conversations, and so far, like last night, I can't complain. This has been a great event. I thought I was going to come in early tonight. Raining a lot. It's like, I'm going to go back. I'm going to pace myself. It's going to be good, get ready for the final day. I'm actually leaving in 2 days. I'm staying a little bit later. Didn't happen. Keep running into people that I know. I'm from the South, and I like to talk a lot because I'm a podcaster. And that Southern thing, interviewing thing, I'm also good at listening. So I sit around and we have these conversations, but you never know where they're going to go. And hopefully today, an example of that was me setting up a friend with a job. Not with Mikhail Baryshnikov, but with a company that does his production. Thank you very much for listening to Build a Big Podcast. If this is the first time you've ever listened to this episode, I'm going to give you not the episode, the podcast. I'm going to give you a disclaimer. That what you just heard where I mixed up episode and podcast, that normally doesn't happen because that would be edited out. And the crazy voice that I've got right now kind of sound like Tony Robbins. That wouldn't happen because normally I sound a lot better than this because I've had rest and I've got compression. and I'm using a better microphone. Stick with me if this is the first time you've ever heard Build a Big Podcast. It's going to get better once I get back to Nashville, get all my tools, get back in my studio, plan these things out a little better. I just wanted to give you a quick update on podcast movement. This was day 3, possibly day 2, depending on how you look at things. And it's a good day. It's a good event coming next year to Orlando, Florida, August 13th through 16th. This is Rose and Shingle Creek, Orlando. If that means anything to you, that's where they're going to be. So go get yourself a day at Disneyland. Come to Podcast Movement next year. And I will see you tomorrow, maybe for my final update from Podcast Movement 2018, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, from the Cheap Hotel Desk.